First of all, thank you for all your support. You know who you are. It was greatly appreciated during the time of Sherri's fight with cancer. Unfortunately, there will be no funeral service for Sherri Lee Caudill, who passed away surrounded by her family, January 20th, 2022 at 12:30 a.m. Sherri and I talked about what would be best for everyone who was involved in her life, and we decided a small witness cremation with a few family members would be the best way to bring closure to her life on earth. I have decided to make this video my last video on this channel as a tribute to Sherri. She was a perfect loving wife, a wonderful mother, and a beautiful grandmother who loved to play with her grandchildren more than anything else in this world. Sherri's prayers to God were to live long enough to see at least one grandchild. She lived to see 5, one of which was born on her birthday on January 6, 2022. Sherri was diagnosed with stage 4 cervical cancer in March of 2021. The cancer had spread to her bones, lymph nodes, spine, and brain. She chose to fight with the use of radiation and chemotherapy. After the external and internal radiation treatments with minimal chemotherapy, her blood count dropped so low she needed many blood transfusions in order to return to treatments. However, after suffering through 3 months of excruciating side effects from the radiation and chemo, a tumor in her brain landed her in the emergency room. There at the hospital, she received 2 brain surgeries to remove a 2.4-inch tumor from her right parietal lobe. Shortly after coming home, she developed a fistula between her cervix and sigmoid colon that caused her unbearable pain over the next couple of months. This side effect forced her to return again for another surgery. 2 months later, the tumor in her brain began to grow again, and after just 2 sessions of radiation, a large tumor in her thoracic spine put her back into the hospital for a 3rd time. I was called by a doctor from the hospital and was given 2 choices. Sherri could come home on hospice, or she could receive a spinal surgery called a thoracic laminectomy posterior. I know my wife, and I knew she would want to keep fighting. After the spine surgery, she was unable to walk. Her organs began to shut down, starting with her colon. Sherri made it home on hospice, just in time to say her goodbyes to her family. She passed 6 days later. Sherri will be missed by many people. Anyone who was a part of her life, whether personal or through her work as a realtor, loved her. God filled her heart so much love, like a shining star, she brought His light into this world. Anyone who knew her was touched by her genuine heart of gold. She was one of a kind, and all of our hearts are broke. Sherri came from a very challenging childhood. She was raised in foster care, always longing to be with her mother and her siblings. Even though she was subject to so much pain as a child, she prayed always for deliverance from the challenges she faced growing up. Sherri and I met at a very young age in our youth. She was only 20 years old. Both of us coming from rough backgrounds, it took some time, but eventually we became the married couple God intended us to be. I will miss her more than words can explain. She definitely was my better half, and I know I will never be able to love someone again the way I love her, even now. We shared our youth together. She was my best friend, mother of my children, grandmother to my dinkies, and sister in the Lord Jesus Christ. Sherri is survived by her siblings, Mike and his children and grandchildren, Beverly, her children and grandchildren, and Danny. Husband, James, 5 daughters, Chastity, her husband, Jordan, Winter, her partner, Jay, Felicity, her fiancé, Austin, her younger daughter, Charity, and youngest daughter, Wisdom. 2 sons, Anthony and Justice. 5 grandchildren, Dalton, Callie, Penelope, Chandler, and Isla. You will always be in my prayers, honey bunny. I miss you so much already.
Like a bird
I pray
on a
God
tree.
gives me the strength to go on without you.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small. We can sit together together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Okay, smile.
Recorded face. That's right, but
It's okay. It's okay.
Hold on.
Retry.
Hold on.
That is so bright.
I know.
Okay, ready?
What are you supposed to do?
Come on, way up here.
Seriously, give it to Charity.
Just give it to charity.
What?
Give it to charity.
Hold on. I'm
No, you
doing
need to
it.
scoot closer.
Up against it.
Up against it. Oh, you got it.
I'm sorry, this is